Christmas means so much to so many, and you ask two people what Christmas means for them, and you'll get two very different replies, probably. Yes, on the surface, Christmas for all of us is great. It's a fantastic season, a time of great joy and celebration. Yet, if the truth be known, behind many closed doors, Christmas is not a good time at all. Christmas, well, that reminds me, says some, of the husband or the wife that I had, the friend that I knew, that has long since died. And when I think of Christmas, I think of that special person. What's Christmas like for you? I want to help you to see Christmas this evening as a brief interlude. You know, a brief interlude in the midst of all of the busyness and all of the chaos of December's multifaceted activity. I want you to see Christmas as a means of grace, a gift from God to you and to me, the gift of a brief interlude. Karen and I had a wonderful opportunity to spend last weekend in the Lake District. We've been here for about 15 months in Gateshead, and still we haven't managed to find ourselves across Cumbria Way. But last weekend saw Karen's 40th birthday. And if you haven't yet bought her a present or given her a card, well, shame on you. I forgive you, really. But it was a great opportunity for some time away. An interlude. Some time together. Some time to reflect. Some time alone together to enjoy each other's company. I want you to see Christmas as a brief interlude. A time away from it all. A couple of days to reflect, to gather your thoughts, and to ponder again the wonder of Emmanuel. God with us. Vulnerable, helpless, a baby. Love makes one vulnerable. God lying in human form, weak, needful, as a baby. Emmanuel, God with us. Christmas time, a brief interlude. I've got 5 things very quickly I want to share with you about interludes. You listening? Yep. Number 1. Interludes reaffirm for us who is first. Who is first? Christmas tells us that Jesus Christ is first. Perhaps we've gotten our order of things a little bit muddled up and we've put ourselves first. In this brief interlude of Christmas, be reminded that Jesus is number 1. The second thing I want us to understand about the interlude of Christmas is that it reminds us of what is important in life. God has gifted Christmas to us as an annual interlude, A reminder that he is important. A time to come back annually to reflect upon the importance of God who breaks into human experience the same time every year. The reminder comes. We see his name upon the Christmas card. Emmanuel, God with us. The third thing I want us to understand this evening about the brief interlude that is Christmas is this. That the interlude of Christmas reminds us of why life's worth it. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and his only Son, so that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Life is worth the living because Jesus lived. And he came at Christmas, making sense of it all. The fourth thing about the interlude of Christmas, and interludes in general, is that interludes make sense of suffering. In those quiet times away from it all, in those brief interludes, we have time to reflect, to understand loss, to see and make sense of disappointment. When the storm waves break in upon our life experience, interludes help us to make sense of suffering. And the final thing about interludes is when we get a fresh perspective upon life. When we've had an opportunity to see who is first and what's important and why life is worth it. And we've had an opportunity to make sense of the loss and the suffering and the disappointment. Then interludes have an uncanny way of massaging us back to a fresh new start. Thank God for Christmas. A brief interlude of grace in the midst of life's chaos. Thank God for Christmas.